This composer has it all. The pianism, the virtuosity, the way he uses the instrument, the way he uses the total instrument actually he makes the instrument sound like a symphony. And then add to that those beautiful melodies that only Prokofiev could write. And this form and the structure, I think that's a very important draw for me. The directness of his statement. I always know where I am with him. I know where he's going. And I don't understand these people who say he was so hard and hard-hearted with a heart of stone. I hear that tender heart coming through. I think you have to search for it, but it's definitely there. Prokofiev was a genius in using the past, building on that to make it something that was completely new and original. He, in a way, created his own language using traditional means. You hear a dissonant language, but if you uncover it, pull away the dissonant seconds, it's traditional harmony. Same thing with form and structure. It's classical form and structure. And the melodies are just extended melodies that he made his own. So he uses traditional means, but it's all new and personal, and it's his own. It's original. He doesn't write like anyone else. Even just that third romantic, nostalgic waltz. You can imagine a male and a female dancer choreographing that and them gliding along the stage. In a way, it's all part of that ballet tradition as well. I just hear those wonderful melodies. I think of the form, I think of the shape. I'm amazed at what he does. And the more I study this music, it's like a bottomless pit. I keep finding new treasures. I keep finding new connections that I hadn't seen before. It's the kind of music that I think all great music is like this. It wears well. You never tire of it. I think there was a period in his life when he was settled in Paris, which was one of the most difficult periods in his life. And I think it was because he was under the shadow of Stravinsky, who was the successful composer, who really had an extra sense of the way the wind was blowing, which Prokofiev did not. So I think when Prokofiev went away from his natural form of expression and tried to imitate Stravinsky, it was during that period, like with the Fifth Sonata and some other compositions, it's as if he fell flat on his face. And then he even tried to revise the Fifth Sonata, and he still couldn't make it work. And then I'm one of these people who thinks that return to Russia was inevitable, that he had to go back because he was in danger of losing his own voice. And he put it the way he said, I miss my own language, I need to hear that music. So when he went back to Russia, and it wasn't for political reasons by any means, he then started this incredible period of composition, the three war sonatas, Lieutenant Gigi, the Fifth Symphony, Peter and the Wolf, all these great compositions that he was writing. I really think that we as pianists and performers have a responsibility to the composer's intentions, of course, to honor them. And in a way, we become their representatives, their teachers. In a way, I guess what I'm trying to do is convey the spirit in which he wrote it. I'm trying to convey the form. I'm trying to make what sounds initially complex, to clarify it, because I don't feel that it's as complex as most people feel. I see it very clearly, and that is my job, to elucidate that for you as the listener. So you present the theme, then the left hand takes the theme, and then he has this wonderful passage where chromatic passage in the left hand that you want to come out, but actually he's also doing chromatics in the right hand on the last note of the 16th. And you want that to come out too. So. And then you're in G major. That's really what I feel when I play his music. I feel a terrific responsibility to him and his spirit. To me, he's the most extraordinary craftsman, the most extraordinary original. I mean, the creativity. And then the tragedy of his life. I mean, if only he had lived longer, you know? And then the irony that he died the same day as Stalin, the man who made his life so miserable, you know, is amazing. I just played the Tenth Sonata fragment. I've just recorded it again, the full 2 pages. These are the last notes that came from his pen in 1953. And you're left with nothing. I mean, you're just left with 2 pages and you think, what would he have done with that sonata? Maybe it would have been another masterpiece like the Sixth Sonata, you know? When you strip away all the layers, okay, you're left with traditional harmony. Okay, he might not prepare the modulations in the traditional 18th century way, and that's the wonderful thing about him. He'll journey into all these foreign keys, but it always makes sense. And that will get us to A flat, because that's the purpose of him going through the Neapolitan, to get us to A flat. And I feel that this marks the second section of the first part. Now, this is, again, a 3-part form, but dividing the first part, I divide it into 2 sections because, again, he will present the theme now in A flat. He uses traditional means to create this new and harmonic language that was completely his own, and that was his quest, and he did it. Without form, I believe there's chaos. I think everything has form. And I really do think it is the most important element in music. And I'd even go in the visual arts, in everything. I think that's the attraction I have to Prokofiev. Of course, that's the attraction I have to Beethoven. He was such a genius with form, especially in his late sonatas, the way he stretched the boundaries. And even Liszt, in his Liszt sonata, has copied that. And without understanding that mold in which the composer does pour his material, how can you understand the material? It's like a pianist practicing, and he's only practicing so he won't miss a note. Well, I say, hey, you can spend your whole life doing it. It's completely irrelevant if these notes don't make sense, if there's not contrast, if there's not understanding, if there's not emotional communication. And form is a way of giving shape to everything. I mean, everything we do. I mean, even going to the grocery store, if you don't know where it is, I mean, how are you going to get there? That's why I call form a GPS system, you know. You have to know where we're headed. And that is a way of making a work dramatic, of shaping it, of shaping the content, the emotional statement, everything.